We now go to the gentleman from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Mr. Massey. And Kentucky, for that matter, too.
Yes, Kentucky. It's been a bad couple of months to be from MIT, thanks to one of our witnesses. I've reviewed your extensive and impressive curriculum vitae. It's 17 pages long. And would it be accurate to say that you chose economics, particularly the field of economic models, to inform public policy as part of your career?
Certainly one of the things I find appealing about economics is how it can help make informed public policy.
So you're in a position of trust. You've been to the White House many times. You've met with the president. Could you tell us again what you met with the president about?
I had one meeting with the president. There were 6 experts and about 15 other members of the administration.
And you were an expert on the how to control the costs?
Yeah, how to control costs and also to discuss health care reform in Massachusetts. And
was Independent Payment Advisory Board part of that discussion, or is that something that you would be an expert on?
I don't believe the Independent Payment Advisory Board idea existed at that meeting.
Okay, but you're very well aware of it and advise politicians on that.
I'm aware of the Independent Payment Advisory Board, yes.
So, given this position of trust and the fact that you take taxpayer money, I have a question for you. Have you had any ethics training at MIT or Harvard?
As a condition for receiving federal grants, we have to take a human subjects test.
So
MIT, a number of ethical issues.
And MIT has an ethics policy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a little bit philosophical, what I'm going to ask you now, but you're a doctorate of philosophy, so to speak. Under what circumstances is it ethical to deceive someone for their own benefit?
I'm not aware of circumstances in which that
could you imagine maybe an adult could withhold information from children for their own benefit?
Yes.
Would there be ethical? Now, so if you understand that, then you understand why my constituents are so offended by your proposition that it's okay to deceive or obfuscate for somebody's benefit. Compounding the insult that you delivered to them is the fact that they pay your salary. So do you understand fully why it was so insulting? You patronized them. You were condescending.
I was.
And,
I agree.
And my colleagues on the Democrat side of the aisle are upset with you simply because you committed candor. You said what you thought. You said what they were all thinking when they wrote Obamacare, that they knew what was best for my constituents. I submit to you, my constituents are not your children, and they have the right of self-determination. So this gets me to another instance where you committed candor. In 1997, you co-authored a paper entitled Abortion Legalization and Child Living Circumstances, Who is the Marginal Child? On page 20, you conclude that abortion legalization appears to be associated with an improvement in the average living circumstances and birth outcomes among a birth cohort. And on page 26, you state that your research indicates that the legalization of abortion saved the government $14 billion in welfare payments through 1994. Is providing more access to abortion, is that a worthy social outcome to achieve cost savings for the government?
That is not what my paper was about. It wasn't a philosophical paper. It was about empirical facts.
Tell me what I meant by this sentence. By 1993, all cohorts under the age 18 were born under legalized abortion, and we estimate steady state savings of $1.6 billion per year from positive selection. What did you mean by positive selection? Because in this paper, you're talking about providing more access to abortions to a socioeconomic strata of our constituents.
What the paper did was look at...
What did you mean by positive selection in abortion?
In that paper, we were studying the characteristics of children who were born before and after abortion was legalized. By comparing those characteristics, you can infer the characteristics of the kids who were not born.
So what you inferred, I find chilling. what you inferred is that if we reduce the number of people or children born, life will be better for the rest of us still living. Specifically, you seem to suggest that if we eliminate or reduce the number of poor people that are born, this will make life better for all Americans. And this gets me to my final point, which is the Independent Payment Advisory Board. My constituents fear that this is, in fact, a method by which Obamacare will ration health care for the elderly and therefore implement cost savings for Medicare. So my question to you is, does your philosophy on abortion, that it can save money and improve outcomes, have any implications in the realm of end-of-life care? You argue that abortions of poor children raise the average living circumstances in your paper for the rest of us and save the government money. So, Dr. Gruber, if there are fewer elderly people, particularly poor elderly people, wouldn't that save a ton of money too? As an economist, wouldn't you think that would save money too? And do you understand the dangerous implications of going down this path?
I have no philosophy of abortion. I have no philosophy of end-of-life care. My job as an economist is to deliver the empirical facts. All can make the necessary.
And what would
decisions.
your facts be on the elderly?
I don't understand the question.
The end-of-life care. Do you advocate that the federal government should ration that?
No, I do
As an
not.
economist, would it save money?
I do not advocate the federal government should ration end-of-life care.
Thank you. I yield back.
I thank the gentleman.